Hey guys! So today I actually want to talk about why these sugar dating relationships are extremely low vibrational and are actually perpetuating the trauma cycle. And I'm going to put this into a verbal diagram. I'm not going to go into a written diagram today. So if you want to know what the deeper meaning is, what your soul is really calling for when you're starting to think about these kind of relationships, sugar daddy, sugar baby, transactional, power-driven BDSM relationships, what you actually want, what your soul is trying to tell you. I want to start in the very beginning. When we're developing through life, we have to start at a very, very basic baseline. No matter how you're born, into a wealthy family, a poor family, we all start the same. We all start in beige. Beige is survival. Food, shelter, water. Now, if a trauma happened to you in this beige cycle, it's likely that you're going to have a trauma around food, really. It's really about food, like the direct survival of the self. That could be anorexia, bulimia, or overeating, hoarding food. So, unfortunately, we see that a lot. And then comes stage 2. Stage 2 is the purple stage. The purple stage is all about sex. Sex, emotions, and the tribe. So we're growing up, we're realizing we're in a tribe. We're realizing group dynamic. We're realizing, what sex is, what it brings about. We're discovering our emotions when we're young. This is kind of how it gets into the inner child. The inner child isn't actually a representation of you as a child. It's a trauma that happened in childhood. When a trauma happens in the purple stage, it's usually to do with someone that you love, a caretaker relationship. Could be romantic, but most likely this is a caretaker emotional relationship, and you get completely stifled in your growth. Now you're at stage 2 purple. Something happened. A parent abandoned you. They left you. You witnessed domestic abuse, or you had lack in your life in beige. One of the two. Now you're capped here until you can resolve that trauma. Next comes red. Red is the third layer of this developmental relationship consciousness. Okay, so say you make it past the purple. You might have a happy home life where your parents generally get along, but you're in red now. And red is about power and self-realization. You realize, I am my own autonomous person. I have freaking power. I have power over people. I have power in my life. I have this primal raw aggression. And that can come out in an unhealthy way as dominating over other people. It can come out in a healthy way, which is realizing you have power to control your life. You have power in your own life. So that's a good thing. Here's where things go wrong. Usually there is an injury that happens in the purple or the red. Okay, now that you have a basic overview, let's go deeper. An injury happens here in the purple, and you cannot reach your power now. Now you're capped. You're stuck in this little trauma house in the purple. Okay? So you don't know how to put that into words. You don't know how to cure it. You don't know how to resolve it. So as you get older and you grow, if you cannot recognize and release and cure this trauma, it's going to manifest into your adult relationships, this hurt inner child. And that might look like, if you're a man and you have a purple trauma, you see women as sexual objects. That's the trauma part. Let me just double check here. If you're a woman, you see men as success objects, which means there is no love to be had. This is like pure, you see them as success symbols. That's the trauma part. The part that might be a little happier, a little, more palatable, that everyone had to go through growing up, is the fantasy, the emotions, the thrill, the image of love, If you manage to get through the purple unscathed, you can progress to the red. You get through the red unscathed, you can go further and further and further. But this is life. Like most of us, we get scathed, we get hurt along the way. And then this is what happens. So an injury in the purple can also look like repressing emotions, repressing desire because it's bad, it hurt us. For women, that can look like going celibate for like a decade, 5 years, 10 years, what have you. They completely check out of the dating market because they had a pain and a trauma in the dating. For men, that can look like the NoFap movement, where they're like, oh, I haven't done XYZ in a year. I haven't done XYZ in like 10 years, like NoFap. So it's really repressing desire. Can also look like repressing emotion, because we might associate with emotion as getting hurt, or emotion is tied to this deep, deep hurt that we experienced in the purple, in that second stage of development when we were little. Now, going back to red, that's going to be like a coming into power. So if you're a woman, you might realize, oh my goodness, I have the power of pragmatism. I can speak to people. I can get a reaction. I can step into my power and use that to make friendships, to ask my parents for what I want and actually get it. You know what I mean? If you have an injury in the red, it can look like repressing your power, not realizing it, not letting it come to full form. Maybe you get taken advantage of and you feel powerless. Now you have grown up into this man or woman and you're seeking to take power, self-serve, ego, even if you have to pay for it. So that might be hiring, sugar babies, and you're basically like acting out this trauma over and over again because you feel powerless in some way, or you feel like you need to then take the power from someone else. Or if you're a woman, you might feel like you got hurt so bad in this lower level that you now see men in the purple as symbols of resource or success that you can then take. So now it's red, like primal, take. You're always going to be capped there unless you figure out what exactly happened and how you fix it. You're going to be capped. You will never experience these 9 levels of consciousness where you can have it all. You can have the money, the family, the love, the house, the life. You can have it all. You need only get past this trauma house that keeps you capped. And if you don't, it will repeat and repeat and grow and grow and grow. Why do you think men in the red pill community get off on hearing each other talk on those podcasts? They are so hurt and traumatized. They're in the purple stage. They're in the second layer of consciousness. They don't know, they don't believe love exists. They don't know how to get what they want. They might only know it through coercion, paying for it. These are very low vibrational ways of meeting needs. But I don't judge, because we are human and we need our needs met. Okay, that's a tongue twister. We need our needs to be met. So it's an unresourceful way of meeting needs, is what I'm saying. Entering into these kind of transactional relationships, it's purely low level. This is like, this means your body wants to heal. If you're a man and, you're paying these women to give you the time of day and acting out all these like weird power trips, or maybe you feel totally powerless, that is your trauma screaming like, I want to be healed. I want to overcome. I want to rise above. I want to have the woman or man I want to be with. I want the family life. I want pure acceptance. I want to explore my deeper self and reach my full potential. That's what that's saying. But you have this barrier. You're like a little flea in a jar that keeps hitting the top and hitting the top. So when I hear men or women talking like, I'll just get a sugar daddy or sugar baby, it's really meaning that you had this big injury in that level. So either you're going to completely suppress it, give up your power, give up your sexual desire, give up your future of having it all and become completely repressed, or you're going to try to get what you want through egocentrism, through all that you know, which is right where you got traumatized, in the red. I don't believe this is an empowering dynamic. I think this is low vibrational dynamic. So how do we cure this? How do you get beyond that kind of trauma? First of all, you cannot help anyone get out of it. So since we all go through this in some way or another, in some expression of it, can only be around community, healthy community. Oh, anyway, I wanted to say something. I'm trying to remember what I wanted to say. Oh, basically, yes, you can't have, you cannot have it all in the purple and the red. So getting these influencers that are on social media saying, oh, I'm successful, I have a Lamborghini, so I have this woman and she just does whatever I want. I just, I take care of her, I give her XYZ money. She's also fucked up in the head in purple or red because she has given up her power. She has given all that up. And so has he. They're both in one way or another paying for it. They can never have it all. So don't believe everything you see on social media. Like, that's not the truth. You want to reach like the border of human capacity, like on the edge of like alien intelligence. Level 9, that's like almost uncomprehendable consciousness. I think that's what we want to touch on at some point in our lifetime. Maybe it won't happen when you're 20 something, when you're 30 something, 40 something. Maybe this is a progression. Do not get stuck in these lower level consciousness. If you've had a good people who are healthy mindset do not date people in the purple or in the red, vice versa. Think about a man or woman who is a very healthy mindset, who either worked through their trauma or didn't have it in the first place, or they found methods to cope and to overcome, to realize it and be like, this is what's staring me in the face. This is what's preventing me from being happily coupled. They're not going to date someone in the red or the purple. So it's just two traumatized people dating each other, feeding off of that trauma, just re-inflicting, reharming. It's just this cycle until one of you can break out of it and hope that the other follows and you guys evolve through the layers of consciousness. I mean, the point of this human experience is to have a fulfilling life that we want to live. I mean, even beyond materialism. Imagine having a relationship where the sex isn't just sex. It's reaching new levels, going to different dimensions. It could be like borderline psychedelic experience without any drugs. That's what it can be like in levels 7, 8, and 9. That's what you have in store for you. At these lower levels, you have primal animal instinct, power, aggression. You're not an animal. Like that's not going to cut it. It's kind of like that saying where the frog is in the water and it's increasingly getting hot and boiling until it gets so hot he gets cooked alive. That's essentially what it's like being in these lower level relationships, because you don't see it until it's like something is staring you straight in the face when you've had it and you're about to break. So that can look like, being repressing your desires. You've been hurt so bad you repress your desires for years and years and years. And then it's like manifesting in other ways. This is like a stuck emotion because, sexual desire is something that I'm learning about in Kabbalah, where the rabbi says it's beyond a human desire. This is a divine desire. Sexual desire is a divine desire. So by suppressing it that bad and being celibate for years, you're so stuck in purple, you're level 2 and you want to be level 9, it can never happen. You're repressing this human desire. Or the opposite side, you're going to get your desire, but it's going to be through power, force, and you're never going to have a taste of love. Never going to have love in your life. That's not the point of life. So I know that you can have it all. I know all of us can have it all. It's just a matter of seeing where you got stuck, where this injury happened, and trying to solve it. So the cure for this would be to get in spaces with elevated people who are non-judgmental, where you're having fun and enjoying yourself. Whether that's salsa dance, maybe you join a kind of club or hobby group that you've always wanted to join that has nothing to do with money, nothing to do with status, nothing to do with power. Those are little trigger points for you, so stay away. This is about you getting into a zone where people are not judging you, not objectifying you for your money, for your, your body, what have you, if you're a man or a woman. This is about you being in a community of people who can see you as you and get used to socializing without critique and judgment towards others. So I really recommend dancing. I recommend finding a style of dance that you want to take and meeting the people there. I mean, for a man or a woman to get up there, start swinging their hips and making a lot of mistakes in a very public space takes a level of humility that comes from a person who is not afraid to be themselves and is not going to judge you for being yourself. So get in a room like that, in front of people like that, who are going to love and accept you, and be yourself. And once you start to meet people of the opposite gender who are good people and can restore your faith in humanity, you can then go to the next level and the next level and the next level and keep going. So, yes, that is my piece for today. I hope you enjoyed.